What really happened on Apollo 13? A mission that was supposed to be routine suddenly spiraled into a nightmare. An explosion, failing systems, and a desperate fight for survival millions of miles from Earth. Was it just an accident or something more? Buckle up as we uncover the shocking story behind NASA's near disaster in space. Meet your stunning AI assistant, Raver Volt, brought to you by Smart Studio.
30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
I believe that this nation should commit itself.
12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start.
To achieving the goal
5.
before this decade is out.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
Liftoff. The clock's running.
On July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to set foot upon the moon.
Houston, the Eagle has landed. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
4 months later, Apollo 12 successfully landed on the lunar surface, and astronauts Peter Conrad and Al Bean walked on the moon November 19th, 1969. And in April 1970, NASA launched the crew of Apollo 13 into the vast ocean of space to continue man's lunar exploration. But 56 hours into the mission, a devastating malfunction left the spacecraft leaking precious oxygen and the crew of 3 astronauts facing a life and death crisis.
On April 11th, 1970, NASA lifted Apollo 13 toward the moon.
We have commit and we have liftoff at 2:13.
Barely a year after Neil Armstrong's first footprints. 3 astronauts aboard were confident they'd make NASA's third lunar landing. Instead, their mission became a desperate fight to get home.
Number 1. The explosion and record distance.
Somewhere 330,000 kilometers from Earth, a thunderous bang rattled the spacecraft. Alarm shrieked. An oxygen tank had exploded. The second was leaking. Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. Mission Control thought it was a glitch, but through the window, the crew saw precious life support venting into space. The blast also nudged them off course, sending Apollo 13 farther from Earth than any humans before or since.
Number 2. Kennedy's promise and the fading moon boom.
Back in 1961, President Kennedy vowed to land a man on the moon and return him safely before decade's end.
Achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
By 1969, Apollo 11 and 12 had succeeded. But once the historic firsts were done, public and congressional enthusiasm and funding for space fell off. Apollo 13 had to justify its budget by pushing both science and human endurance.
Number 3. Mission goals and spacecraft layout.
The main mission objective of Apollo 13 is the scientific exploration of the moon. We hope to find out a lot about the origin of the moon, and from that, the origin of our own planet, the Earth.
Apollo 13 wasn't just a rock-collecting trip. Its chief aim was to explore the Fermaro crater, a site believed to hold clues about the moon's and Earth's origins. The spacecraft rode aloft on a Saturn V rocket and comprised 4 parts: command module, 11 feet long cone, housing controls, life support, comms, and small engine service module carrying oxygen, fuel cells, and the primary main engine lunar module built to land on the moon and then reattached for the Journey Home launch escape system, jettisoned at launch unless an emergency aborted the flight 3 astronauts flew: Jim Lovell, commander, Fred Hayes, lunar pilot, and Jack Swigert, command pilot, none of whom were in the original crew lineup due to last-minute medical and personal changes. Roughly 200,000 spectators watched the launch, dwarfed by Apollo 11's 7 million.
Number 4. 3 calm days and boredom.
The first 2 days passed without incident. In fact, things were so smooth that Houston radioed, "Spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here." Even a lighthearted tax extension request from Swigert underscored the uneventful start.
Uh-oh. Have you guys completed your income tax?
Yeah, Joe, I got a
See, it's funny. Things kind of happen real fast down there, and I do need an extension. I didn't get mine filed.
Number 5, Day 3, the second bang.
On April 13th, during routine lunar module checks and a little-watched TV demo, Jack Swigert read oxygen levels. Seconds later, a massive explosion. A second tank had gone. Warning lights and alarms flared. Houston, we have a problem. Level reported again.
Number 6, what went wrong with second tank?
Each service module tank held liquid oxygen, boiled off by an internal heater. Tank 2 was a reused Apollo 10 unit that had been dropped and damaged during refurbishment. To purge leftover oxygen, ground crews overheated it, pushing its internal temperature to 538 degrees Celsius, far above the 30 degrees Celsius thermometer limit. That invisible overtemp fried the wiring insulation. Unaware of the damage, NASA cleared the tank for flight until it sparked and blew. Luckily, it sat on the spacecraft's exterior, so the blast only ripped off a 13-feet panel. Had it been internal, the crew would have been lost.
Number 7, 2 ways home.
With the service module main engine perilously close to the explosion, firing it risked further disaster. Option 2 was to slingshot around the moon using its gravity, no main engine burn needed, but adding 4 to 5 days to the trip. NASA's flight director chose the longer route.
Okay, here we go. The mid-course correction for free return. And I have your left.
The crew powered down the command module and huddled into the lunar module as a lifeboat, designed for 2 people for 20 hours, now tasked with sustaining 3 for nearly a week.
Number 8, first burn and record distance.
Powering down non-essentials, including heaters and radios, conserved electricity and supplies. The lunar module's descent engine fired its first burn, sending them around the moon's far side. This maneuver set a distance record, 400,000 kilometers from Earth, still unbeaten today.
Number 9, second burn, gaining hours.
To narrow their window for supplies, ground engineers calculated a second burn. They proved the lunar module engine could handle it, reducing the return time from 153 to 143 hours and adding an 11-hour survival buffer.
Number 10th, CO2 crisis and the square peg fixed.
Next came rising carbon dioxide, deadly if not scrubbed. The lunar module's lithium hydroxide canisters were rated for 2 people for 2 days, but 3 astronauts needed 4 days' worth. The command module had extra canisters with square filters, incompatible with the lunar module's circular slots. Given 24 hours, the crew and Houston improvised an adapter using plastic bags, cardboard, suit hoses, and duct tape. The jury-rig device worked. CO2 levels dropped back to safe limits.
Number 11th, water rationing and physical tolerance.
To minimize waste, water was limited to 200 milliliters per day. Excess led to urine production, which could shift their fragile flight path. Over the mission, the crew lost a combined 14 kilograms. Hayes developed a urinary tract infection under the extreme conditions.
Number 12th, third burn, correcting course.
As they neared Earth, cooler vapor inside the spacecraft had again nudged them off track. Lovell executed a third burn with the lunar module engine, despite it being rated for just 1 use, bringing them back on course.
Number 13, global anxiety and re-entry.
Apollo 13 to the moon is in serious jeopardy this morning and is not going to make a moon landing.
People around the globe watched live as Apollo 13 approached Earth. Families of the crew sat glued to news channels. The final hurdle, surviving re-entry heating. The astronauts climbed back into the command module, built to endure atmospheric friction, and jettisoned the lunar module.
Number 14, the blackout and safe splashdown.
Upon hitting the upper atmosphere, ionized air blocked radio signals, causing the dreaded blackout, usually 2 to 3 minutes. But silence stretched on 3 minutes. For minutes. Then, after 4 minutes 27 seconds, Houston heard a static-filled voice. "We're here." The command module deployed its parachutes and splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean.
Teamwork was necessary. Good leadership, initiative, to think out outside of the box. When things go wrong, how do we repair them? Those are the 3 things that were absolutely.
Number 15, lessons and legacy.
Apollo 13 never landed on the moon, but its near disaster became one of the greatest rescue stories ever. NASA overhauled safety protocols, and every subsequent lunar mission, Apollo 14 to 17, succeeded. The crew's resourcefulness, teamwork, and creative problem-solving turned a potential tragedy into a triumph of human ingenuity.
Apollo 13's accident wasn't just a mission gone wrong, it exposed hidden risks and secrets that NASA couldn't ignore. The daring rescue saved lives but left many questions unanswered. What really went down up there? The truth might be far more complex than we've been told.